Here we go, and looks like you can actually hear me and see me. Hello, hello. How are you guys? Happy Sunday and happy full moon and all the things. So, while you guys are hopping on live, I thought I would just give you guys a brief intro, let you guys know we're back. We skipped last week mainly because it was Mother's Day, and honestly, I needed a hot minute to kind of recharge my own energies, my own batteries. I'm not sure exactly if we achieved that, but here we are. If you are watching me live, let me know in the chat that you can see me and hear me. Hopefully, the connection today is going well. And here's what's on the agenda for today if you're hopping on live. I think that the very first thing that I would like to do, as always, which is so important, especially as we're winding down on our Sunday. Just move my chair here. Here we go. So the very first thing that I like to do anytime that I'm doing something different that I did 2 minutes ago is to just simply allow us to arrive to where we are, to what we're doing right now. So take a deep breath through the nose and release, and also drop your shoulders. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time. Let's take a deep breath through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Beautiful. Now, as you regulate your breath for just a moment, allow the sound to really recalibrate as we're arriving here. So beautiful. I hope you guys are having a beautiful Sunday. I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful sunshine, that it fills up with so much energy, because we all need it. So here's what's on the agenda for today. First of all, if you are brand new and this is the first time that we're meeting, hello, hello. My name is Meshi, and I am the person behind Aligned Soul. I'm an intuitive healer and a reader, and I chat with you every single week, and we talk about all of the energy updates that's happening and what's also shifting and changing, and how you can energetically prepare for it the best possible way. I also give you some tangible tools that you can kind of use to move forward with your week. And what's also going to be shifting moving forward into the next week is we're also going to include an extra session, which I'm really excited about, where we're going to be taking these intuitive insights that we receive so that you can actually use them to move forward with your week. We're going to be using them as coaching tools. We're going to be using them in a much more tangible way. I keep saying tangible, but what I really mean by that is, rather than just applying them as just a general guidance, like use more balance in your life, or connect more with divine, sometimes it can be really hard to understand what that means. So it's really nice when we can apply that to the category of your life and really make it very concrete. So what I have started to offer, and I'm so excited that I did, because I think that it's going to be really serving a lot of you out there, to really bring spirituality into the 3D, into making it more tangible. So that's essentially what I do. If you and I have never met, obviously consider subscribing if you have not yet already. We chat here every single Sunday. And if our schedule changes, which it might moving into next week, then I will just use the community tab to kind of give you guys an update. But what's happening right now is I'm going to kind of give you some insights that came throughout the week, and then we'll pull some cards for the collective. So take it as you will, take it if it resonates, leave the rest behind. I always encourage you guys to use your own discernment when it comes to that, because ultimately I'm here to help you feel more empowered and use the information in a way that it enhances your life. So here we go. So one of the first things that I wanted to kind of give you guys an update on is, like, as much as I'm not an astrologer, but I pay attention to astrology because it affects me so so directly. So the first thing that is coming through right now is obviously I'm saying obviously like as if you're following it. If you're not following astrology, what's happening right now is between today and tomorrow, we are entering into a lunar eclipse. So that will be pretty potent. And then we also have a full moon in Scorpio, which is also pretty potent in and of itself. So the full moon generally is already a pretty, I don't want to say it's a heavy energy, but it gets really emotional because it can just feel like it's all the things that are coming up. And the way that it has been playing out up to this point is it's almost like all of the things that you didn't really want to pay attention, all the emotions that you were kind of shuffling to the side. It's very much emotion based right now. That's you're asked to look at that, but you're asked to look at it from a really constructive place of, well, what would you like to do about it? Will you continue on the same path, doing the same pattern, the same way? Or will you accept shift? Will you accept change? Do you want to change? And I mean, when somebody says, do you want change? Most of us will absolutely say, no, I'm okay with the way things are because it's familiar. However, with the lunar eclipse, it's sort of like it's asking you to not, and I would also like to add, it's not just the lunar eclipse, it's not just the full moon, but then we also have Mercury in retrograde. So with Mercury being in retrograde, it's going to affect, and it has been affecting technology. It affects the way that we communicate, the way that we articulate things, the way that we connect with people. So it's all of those things. When with Mercury retrograde, it always just asks us to just double check. It's almost like just double check your work, not just double check your work, but just slow down a little bit. So find a pace that's a little bit slower than what you're normally used to. If you're constantly go and you're constantly doing and creating things and you're shaking and moving things, then it's really asking you to just slow down and almost like take a step back and really reevaluate. And this is going to be really uncomfortable for those of you that are not used to doing that. I'm going to see if I can move this just like a little bit. Here we go. So because of that, it becomes really uncomfortable sometimes with Mercury retrograde, and most of us dread it because it affects us so directly. Now, with the lunar eclipse, that's like this whole other, the lunar eclipse and the way that that energy comes across is we're really, really, really looking at a major form of endings and starting new chapters, new beginnings. And in whatever area that seems to be playing out in your life, I think that it's going to become, it's already more noticeable than you might think. It has been for me, for sure. And so it's just asking you to just really, like, the question that has been coming through is, are you, like, in what way do you want to move forward, and in what way are you willing to take responsibility in your, it's sort of like when you do these types of actions and you're in this type of frequency where you are right now, that produces this result. Are you still okay with staying within this frequency, or are you willing to change that? Because the moment, and I think that that's the hard part, that has been like probably the most painful part for me to realize, is that the moment that we realize that the way that we can change the entire outcome of the timeline that we're tapping into, it's all based on, not like, yeah, it's based on our actions, but before the action, it's actually based on the frequency we're tapping into, because the frequency will dictate the action will dictate the outcome will dictate how the rest of the world will respond to that energetic change. So if you kind of know that it's almost like that's when we say, like, you're so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for, because a lot of the times we end up giving our power out to external sources so that they decide which way things will go. And if you don't want to do that anymore, then I would recommend shifting your energy, or get help on how to shift your energy. How do you shift your frequency to tap into a different timeline so that you get a different outcome? And sometimes that, honestly, like, it just basically all that happens when you work with someone to help you do that is you're accelerating your progress. So the other part is that just not, it's almost like just like being okay within the uncomfortableness, within the polarity of like what is actually happening. What is so uncomfortable? Maybe it's some of the relationships that are in your life that are keep like reoccurring in their own cycle, right? And you might look at it like, okay, how did I enable this, or how did I pull that into my reality? And honestly, sometimes, let me just move this a little bit. I'm trying to move this so that the sun is not directly behind. Honestly, sometimes it's not so much that we cause those things, but those things come into our reality because it's trying to get us to learn something. So, what lessons are you learning right now is like the ultimate question, really. And knowing that your answer and your shift and your change is always within you. I mean, we already kind of knew that, but it's really empowering to know when you realize in what way can you affect change. And then the other part that I'm really hearing loud and clear, and that goes both with the lunar eclipse as well as the guidance that comes through with the full moon, is to rest. It's not only just to go at a slower pace, but also reevaluate, clear out old energies, clear out, perhaps you're going through your own spring cleaning, clear out old things that are not in alignment anymore, and really allow your body to recalibrate and rest. And whatever rest means for you, rest might mean spending time in the sun, it might mean spending time outdoors in nature, or you're literally giving yourself the opportunity to learn what rest means. It's almost like challenge what rest could mean for you. And last but not least is like, which is like the one of probably one of the biggest lessons. That's just without me actually pulling any cards. It's almost like take personal responsibility for just taking personal responsibility for both the good and the not so great, both the things that you're contributing on and you have achieved, and please take time to celebrate that, and on the not so great right now, because you're going to be shown and highlighted both. So let's take a look at energetically what you guys are and what you need to know. I know it's been a lot, and it's been a really not so fun week. It's been an exhausting week. Oh my goodness. Yeah, balance. I kind of feel like this goes hand in hand with rebalancing, creating balance from the inside out. But it's like I'm not getting like, oh, it's work-life balance. And that's not what it is. It's not work-life balance. You're creating energetic and frequency balance. Is that recalibration that we kind of talked about. If you're watching this on a replay, guys, let me know how your week has been and how is Mercury retrograde affecting you. So like lots of green coming through. So we have both balance, we have humor, and we have the sun. I feel like where we are at right now is it's almost like you're learning to integrate the sense of balance, energetic balance. Like the way that I'm kind of feeling on this is it has a lot more to do with energetic balance more than anything else. It's sort of like you're learning and integrating on that, accepting the light, accepting the shadow, but also releasing the parts and really having the courage to kind of look at the shadow, really look at, okay, you know what, that's also that rage and that making decisions too quickly or not thinking things through, or running my mouth just a little bit too fast. That's also part of me, as well as the deep love and compassion and holding space for people. It's also part of me. They're both They're both parts of me. And where we're shifting into, it's sort of like, to me, humor and joy, and it's such a light energy. And it's almost like think of it like just looking, basically what I'm getting here is just don't take it too seriously. I feel like for the most part we take things way too seriously. We're thinking that it needs to be so serious, it needs to be so heavy and dense and congested, and because otherwise it's not, we're not doing it right. Like it's like this whole concept of we're not doing it right. And it's like you being here, you sharing your energy and you showing up every single day, you're doing it right, you know. But where we're shifting to right now is you're learning and you're integrating into a new way of being, and in the new way of being and the way that you can kind of move forward and use this energy is to learn how you can stand. It's almost like right now for a lot of you, you guys are going to be learning how to actually not be in survival mode anymore, how to not constantly be in like waiting for the next shoe to drop, you know? It's almost like you're just asked, like, can you just, here we go. Can you go back to that time when you're just, your only concern is to jumping into the water? Can you go back to that time? And can you energetically relive that every single day? How can we do that? How can we really look at our lives, like, especially as we're, especially if you're shifting from where you were into where you're going? How do we like going into this lighter frequency? Because that's what it is. It's going from this density to something a little bit lighter. If you're going from survival mode and from fear and from reactivity um, and frustration, those are so much lower on the frequency range, right? How do we jump to joy and humor and laughter and having fun and having like this careless energy about it all? How can you release? It's almost like that's all I'm getting is just like, I'm not getting like most of you are doing like spring cleaning. What I'm actually getting is that most of you are just leaving your worries at home. What happens when you go on vacation? You kind of leave it behind. You leave the phone calls, the emails, you click off. It's like you enter into this parallel universe that exists where all you're experiencing is humidity, the sunshine, you know, the ocean, the waves, the wind, that present moment. That's what you need to start pulling towards you. And it's a process. It's a process to get there, which is why we're looking at a week. We're not looking at like, I don't need you to integrate this within a day. But that's where you're really asked to really look at and really integrate. How can you find your sunshine, right? How can you find not just your sunshine, but like how can you find that careless, beautiful energy that is there to, it's always there, you know what I mean? Like that level of awareness is always here. It's just we're not paying it, it's just, we're not bringing our attention to it. And as a bonus today, I'm going to give you guys an affirmation because I think that we have our answer. I speak and think gratitude. So see if you can take this affirmation, write it on a sticky note and leave it everywhere and say, or just say it out loud. I speak and think gratitude. What can I be grateful for? All the things that are around you. Because if you start looking for the things that you're grateful for, you find your sunshine, right? And you find that light energy. And then you find your balance. I speak and think gratitude. Gratitude is the one that gets you there. And actually practice gratitude. I have spoken about this week, earlier this week, when that was like another story, but I'll just tell you quickly. Basically, there was, I I was listening to a podcast, and within the podcast, the girl that was interviewed, and I mean, she runs like a multi-million-dollar company. She's talking about how she felt really deeply unhappy, and then she was using gratitude. And I'm thinking, as I'm listening, I'm like, yes, thank you for highlighting gratitude as a practice. Hopefully, you practiced it appropriately. And she said, well, I really wanted to practice gratitude so that I'm grateful for the things that are around me, and to allow that to help me to see how I can move forward. And I'm like, perfect. And then she said, but you know what? At some point, gratitude was just not enough. Like me just pretending to be grateful, or me having like this fake gratitude, like I'm so grateful for my life and grateful for my health and whatever. And it was just like not enough. And I totally understand that you have a yearning for something more in your life, but there's a really big difference between having a yearning for something more in your life and using gratitude to expand, because gratitude is a very expansive, it's a very open, very opening type of practice. So it's sort of like what we're saying is like, you know what, like that one is like not working for me right now, so I need something like a VIP package. And it really bothered me, because when we're really not paying attention to the way that we're articulating what we're saying, it can be so easy to misunderstand the main premise and the main point of gratitude. The point of gratitude practice is for you to bring awareness and attention to the present moment right now, and really take a look at your life, and really take a look at all of the circumstances and all of the micro movement, micro moments. So it's not so much the big things that we need to be grateful for, because those are easy to find. It's those micro moments that take place, and the only way for you to recognize them is if you bring your attention to it, and then be grateful for that, and then actually pay attention to it, witness how it makes you feel, allow the expansion to take place, and then take that into the long-term memory, because those are going to be the experiences that will actually catapult you into attracting more expansiveness. And when we're belittling that practice, to me, that just kind of feels like, you're not really getting the point of this. So anyway, your affirmation for this week is, I speak and think gratitude. I speak and think gratitude. And I hope that you will actually use this consciously, because when you speak and think gratitude, when you speak it, you using your voice and you speak about the things you're grateful for, that already means that you're speaking about it in this present moment. You write about it, you bring awareness and attention to it. And then you think, the more you think about the things that you're grateful for, the more expansive it immediately opens you up. And so if you can kind of use that, you can absolutely use that hand in hand with the guidance that was being given here, which was bring balance, bring energetic and frequency balance, because when you do, then it automatically elevates your frequency. Right now, the energy is going to be dense, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're probably going to need a lot more rest than usual. And also just be okay with that. Like, be okay with giving yourself a little bit more grace, right? And what does this feel like? What does that cottage life feel like? That ocean life feel like? What does it feel like when the sun is beaming on you and there's no worries, and the only worry that you have is that present moment of just jumping into the water and feeling that sense of freedom? What does that really look like for you? How can you bring that level of awareness into your everyday? And I mean, it is absolutely possible, but it's a practice. It's not something that, especially if your mind is untrained on these types of practices, then it doesn't come automatically. So just knowing that in and of itself is going to make a big difference. I wanted to take a look at, I've started doing this this type of reading on TikTok. If you don't follow me on TikTok, I will leave it in the description so you guys can check it out, because I do general readings there like pretty regularly. And each week on TikTok, I usually do a reading that is very much focused on what value you should be really focused on. So it's very much based, it's super tangible. It's not like the oracle cards that we're usually working with here, but I really wanted you guys to not only have the affirmation ready to go for the week, but also to give you guys the value that you can also focus on. Ooh, I love this. Purpose. Now, the definition of purpose is to live life with meaning, intention, and direction. And I'll just give you one of the recommendations. So, consider purpose as striving towards something outside yourself that allows you to feel more connected. Isn't that beautiful? Recognize that your purpose may have many elements and isn't likely to be only one thing. So write down all the things in your life that give you a sense of purpose and activate those that feel the most meaningful to you. For me, purpose is all about really following those intuitive hits that we continuously get, those little breadcrumbs that come, something like this video pops up, or you get like a signpost, or someone says something, or there's a song that comes on and it literally gives you shivers. Those types of things give you energetic feedback through your body that it's like, there's something there for you. You need to pay attention to that. So purpose, when people think outside of themselves of purpose, like I need to find my purpose. To me, purpose is something that it's something much bigger than you, that it, like, I really love this, to live life with meaning. What is the thing that gives your life meaning? To live life with meaning and intention and direction. And sometimes we're so scared to look at what is the direction of our lives because we keep waiting for the outside source to kind of tell us what direction we should take. So take it as you will. I really love these types of readings because, to me, again, very tangible. But what I wanted to introduce you to moving into next week, a couple of updates that I have for you now that I'm officially a meditation teacher, which is super exciting. You can find me on Instagram doing live meditation sessions. They're about half an hour long every single Wednesday. On Thursdays, as of right now, I'm only offering this on Instagram, but if there's enough interest, I might actually just start streaming it here to YouTube as well. So let me know in the comment section if you're watching this on a replay. If you're interested, I would really, really love to. Right now, I'm offering almost like a reading, like similar to what we've done here right now, like an intuitive reading. However, you give me the category and we have a conversation about one category of your life. So let's say we're talking about career and you wanted to get more clarity around career. So I would still do the reading for you, but it's called intuitive guidance, but it's actually more like an intuitive coaching session. So you walk away with your affirmation, you walk away with the mindfulness practice. I give you tangible that you take with you beyond what is coming through spirit, beyond what is coming through with the oracle cards, what is coming through with tarot. I give you what is coming through, but then I also want to give you something that you can kind of take with you and actually take action on. Because what I find a lot of the times is when people come and watch oracle readings, tarot readings, that sort of thing, and just energetic updates, a lot of the times it's really too general, and it's also really difficult for most people to take action on because it's so generalized. So I wanted to kind of take that, bring it into the 3D and give you guys something more tangible. So if you're interested, no problem. I'm so happy to do that. So if you guys are interested, all you have to do is, when you're watching this on a replay, is to drop your name and give me the category. And even if you're watching this on a replay, I will connect with you and we can actually go through it. If you're not comfortable with me doing that live, let me know that as well. And if you wanted to just simply hop onto booking a session with me, I will leave the link for that as well, because there's 30-minute sessions now and an hour sessions. Hour sessions are obviously a lot more in depth. 30-minute sessions are like really quick hit where you just kind of need a little bit of clarity. But I really wanted to bring the mindfulness practices in, and I really wanted to bring in basically concepts of mindfulness teachings where you can bring it into your day-to-day life. So instead of just sitting there in confusion, you actually take action and you actually improve your life and you move forward with direction and with a sense of, you're actually expanding and manifesting what you want. This is all I have for you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm happy to be back. I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful sunshine wherever you are, if it is sunny there. And catch me live here. I think we're going to do the live here on Thursdays, but if I will still do the weekly energy updates, but what I'm actually thinking is we'll probably change the time from Sunday to change it to Saturday. if there's a time change, you will see the update on the community section. So just keep an eye out for that. But as usual, if you want to hunt me down, you can always hunt me down on either on TikTok or on Instagram, or just message me here on any of these videos, and I'm happy to chat with you. Hope you have a wonderful week, you guys, and happy lunar eclipse. It's going to be a doozy. Oh, it already is. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.